All right, what's poppin', Tub Nation? Welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a VGC video podcast where we go over what's been making waves in the VGC scene. Today, I am joined by my co-host, Adi.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tub Takes.
No fireworks? Dang, okay. Not really excited for the show, I guess. We're we also have Marcus Dion. How you doing?
I'm as excited as Adi's background is right now.
Let's go.
It's great.
Dude, your background is sick, though. I gotta say, I love it.
I appreciate it, man.
I'm a big fan of hexagons. Is it
Yeah,
like a
they're
soundproof?
fire. Yeah, they're soundproof. Not that it
Oh,
helps
okay.
when I rage at Pokemon. I'm sure everybody in my house still hears me, but it looks cool.
That's got to come in handy for GC weekends, which we'll definitely be talking about this episode. But yeah, so if you are here now, but you're not going to be able to stick around for the whole thing, or if you'd rather watch this on YouTube, you can just catch it on Adi's YouTube's exclamation point YT in the chat. CK49. Adi also posted another video today, which was pretty cool, talking about how much he hates Iron Hands. I think that was all it was all about, really about.
Pretty much, yeah.
And otherwise, we'll be covering the GC Vancouver upcoming, and any questions that you guys have in the chat for us. So, let us know if you I'll keep an eye on things, and otherwise, let's get into the kind of housekeeping things at the start here. A couple of signups to cruise through. So, first up is Milwaukee. I believe that this is the 5th, 5 March, 7 p.m. Okay, so that's tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I guess today, on YouTube, right? And just make sure you're doing this. Make sure that you're ready for it. I thought people were saying this was going to be a decently big one. It's the first one of the new format. We still don't know what that new format is, but this will be the first event in that regulation. I'm planning on going to this one. So, what about you guys? Are you guys thinking about going to Milwaukee?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited. I think the first regional of a format is always probably the most fun regional of a format, and I wouldn't possibly miss this one. It's going to be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good way to gauge whether I play the rest of the tournaments of this format or not. Because if it's fun, then I'll probably just play everything. But if it's not fun, I guess it's Worlds time.
Right. I was just looking at this. I was trying to figure out if I could somehow worm it into the the tweet, because you're 6th in CP right now, I think, or 5th maybe. You're doing pretty well.
I'm 6th. Yeah. As the last time I checked, I don't know how the GC is shaking things up. I have 0 GC CP. I intend to get 0 GC CP.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. But I
just
believe
in protest.
Right now. Yeah, to be honest, I played one of the global challenges or the grand challenges, and my account wasn't linked.
Right.
But I messaged them. I got top 32, and I messaged them at the time because I was like, "Hey, it kind of matters for the travel award, probably. Do you guys mind doing me a solid?" And they basically said no. And I was like, "Okay, I'm not getting any points from the GC as protest."
I mean, you're doing fine as is, but yeah, I guess, and that would be another reason not to be attending as much. Pardon me for asking, you don't have a auto qual, right? You're just doing really well in points, or do you have an auto qual? I'm forgetting.
You stole my auto qual.
Right, I remember you got close. You got 2nd.
Yeah.
But you're damn near there. I don't think
there's a lot of man.
Right. There's conversation going around now. I was DM'd earlier. Somebody asked me, what do you think the NA bar is going to be? And I just said, I'm not really the person to be predicting this. I'm not really I don't want to be guessing it. One, because I have confidence in my own ability to qualify pretty much no matter what. And then for other people, it just feels I don't know if disingenuous is the right word, but basically I just don't want to give people financial advice. It's the same thing when people say should I stop here or not in the GC? Just get as many points as you can. This year feels very up in the air. So
I feel with the first time that we have something like this since 2014 or whatever.
Right.
There's no real way to gauge where we're going to be at, and people's opinions on where we're going to stop are very skewed by the fact that everybody was spamming early events, and things are going to plateau very quickly. I think is what we'll find, because BFLs are getting filled, so it's pretty difficult to tell right now where we're going to end up at. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at the guy. But it's kind of funny you say BFLs are being filled, and then you're like in 6th with like a completely empty GC like BFL. There's so many points to be gained there. Obviously, you don't need them though. You're doing fine. So,
yeah, it's also really hard to tell, because at least for NA, because the biggest event of the season is the North American Championships, and we just haven't played it yet, right? And so everyone is looking to make that their fifth championship point earning event. I know some people already have 5 and are trying to upgrade on their 5 finishes, but yeah, it's just really hard to tell going into the biggest tournament, where people could jump up 200, 300 points in one go quite easily. So yeah, right now, number 75 is at 638. I don't think that includes the global challenge quite yet. And
that also doesn't include auto invites. Is something
it doesn't
important.
Include.
Yeah.
Yep. If I had to guess, I said the bar is going to be between 900 and 1100, with my median being 1000, and I think that lines up pretty well with what the numbers are right now, assuming people are going to get a few more points at NAIC as well. So that's my best guess. But obviously, it doesn't really matter, right? You do your best at every event, and you don't worry too much about it. But it is nice to have a goal.
Somebody's saying in the chat that it's 80 for like the bar, but I don't know. What I'm wondering about that is, like, have there only been that many regionals, and you also have to count people from internats, which I think we got. Did we whiff?
One.
We no. What do you mean? No, we have 2.
We have Ashton, and that's it.
Like
Wolf already got an invite
for the
Wolf already has his. Yeah.
Right, but for the Ashton one, is Ashton? I remember that he like kind of was taking it easy. Is he in? Like, is he above 80th place right now?
No,
he is 72nd right now.
Oh, he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
So then it would be 80. But if he were to,
he's not doing anything. He's not doing anything other than internationals. He's not playing any other tournament. So that's as far as I'm. Ashton and I talked a bit. So as far as I'm aware, he's not doing anything other than internationals.
Answer my stupid question for me, Adi, but like, if let's say Ashton doesn't play any more tournaments, gets 0 points, is it 79 then? Like as of now, I guess, because I guess there's still going to be more auto quals. There's going to be one this weekend in Vancouver. But okay.
Hey, you don't know that, man.
Exactly.
Marco. Oh wait, no, he already has one. Torviv could show up and steal one from us. You never know.
Or Justin Tang could win this one as well. It could happen.
No, he's not coming because he's a
he won't be. He's done.
Well, I mean, but also like Sempra could show up and win it, and like he's one of the favorites to win it if he's going, and he doesn't have any points as far as I know, right? So like, there's so many ways that things can change.
He does not, because he forgot to sign up for Toronto.
Nah,
and then still showed up to the tournament, and then he played a 4-player pod, and got 4th. And that's how that weekend went for him.
No way.
Oh, with the regional finalist team, by the way.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd throw that in there.
That's so funny. That's messed up. Okay. So let's see. Then also upcoming is, I think this is on the 6th. Monterrey is reopening some spots, it looks like. So so people are looking to go down to Mexico, right? This is in Mexico.
This is in northeastern Mexico. It's actually quite close to the U.S. border, but so I know some people in Texas who have driven down. I think I've heard you shouldn't, but it's pretty close. If you're in Texas, if you're in the southern United States, it is a relatively easy regional to get to. But and then we saw Cancun, and it's a relatively small regional as well. But it's not. I will say, if you're going to one of the Mexican regionals, I would have gone to Merida, because Monterrey is like a very blue collar town, whereas Merida is like a nice tourist destination with the cenotes and the beach nearby. But it is what it is. If you want to go,
Merida was a very nice city where I think part of the appeal was being able to do things that weren't the regional. Monterrey is probably going to be very much like you go to the convention center, you go back to your hotel, you go to the convention center for day 2, and then when you lose in finals, you go to your flight. So that's probably like you're not going to. There's not so much tourist stuff to be doing in Monterrey as opposed to what Merida was like.
Well, make friends with the Mexican players, get them to take you out for tacos. They did that and took me to like this place I never would have ever found in Cancun. Well, last time I went and had the best tacos of my life. I am still searching for that high. Every city I go to, I'm searching for the best tacos. Haven't found it. It's still in Cancun. So yeah, definitely try to do that at the very least.
Yeah, for sure.
What is the? Oh, okay. I thought there was a third one to mention, but
hey, don't forget the South Africa regional. Yes, or the special. That was the one I was kidding. Don't forget those. They're very important.
I forgot to grab links for those ones, but I did see that on Victory Road's page. Actually, I could probably just go find that through their page right here. But yes, Johannesburg and Durban are coming up in April and May. So I guess. Oh yes, I think we might have mentioned this one, but this one would still be Reg G, I would think. Yeah. It's the end of Reg G, and then this one's in May, so that should be Reg I, which is just so weird to say because we're going from G to I, whatever.
Do we have any South African viewers? If you are watching on YouTube and you're from South Africa, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear about it, and I'd love to like get hear about what this event was like, because it's just not a place that we ever get to hear much about the VGC scene.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's cool that they're actually getting to host majors or major adjacent from a points perspective in a region that is not very spotlighted usually.
Right. Absolutely. So the next thing we have is a bit of a funny one. I'm not going to play the whole video, but just like, I guess, kind of a funny talking point for people to be aware of is that there's like a new desync glitch going on the in-game ladder as well. I guess it could technically be replicated IRL, though I think anybody at a locals scene trying to do this, or even the regionals, you just raise your hand, call a judge, and a judge is going to be able to resolve that pretty quickly. But regardless, what's happening is towards the end here, you'll see that the one player has 20 seconds left on the timer, the other player has 40 seconds left on the timer. I'm not sure if you can go further than that. What happens if the other person runs out of 45? But I think you can just effectively stall the whole game out to the point that it gets voided or something like that. And yeah, I mean, I have not had this one happen to me, thankfully. I've never seen it, so hopefully people aren't commonly doing this, but also hope it just gets patched soon. There's a lot of things that the game would need to be patched for, though, so hopefully they get on this one at the very least. Otherwise, let's go ahead and talk about the Battle Stadium season. So before we jump into talking about the Global Challenge 2, it's funny that these have lined up as they have. I mean, it just basically means that you can't really use these to get inspiration for the current GC, because the weekend is kind of ending at the same time. But I guess you can get ideas for the next one. And UB Slow ended up just winning this Battle Stadium season by a pretty good margin with Wolf's team. Just Wolf's team. Pretty funny to see. Wolf did win the previous Global Challenge with this team, and so still holding its own even in best of one closed team sheet. Just a very well-rounded team used by a very strong player. UB Slow has won so many of these ladder seasons that it's just not even a surprise at this point. But I'm just going to scroll through and see if there's any cool teams, but I honestly didn't look beforehand, so...
scroll up a bit. Scroll up a little bit.
The Zacians?
There's two Zacians, same person.
There's two Zacians and there's two Elizabeths. If you scroll up a little more.
Oh, Elizabeth does have 3 accounts, I believe. And yeah, we will definitely be talking about Elizabeth in a second here. The Zacian, I mean, Ndidi, Pagos, sure, I guess, whatever. Oh, here it is again. I'm not seeing the most inspiring teams here, but honestly, I think that's largely because people were keeping them secret for the Global Challenge and for qualifying for Worlds. I think this one, somebody was talking to me about it because it's a bit crazy. They've got like Scarf Ogre, a fairy move on Fire Pond.
What
I have to
is
guess
that?
I have to guess
Is that
that's
Play
Play
Rough?
Rough. It's got to be
Right.
Play Rough, but like what for? For Raging Bolt, I guess.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Yubi in
It's Charm or Play Rough.
It is Play Rough, yeah. According to Pokemon Ranger Emerald, says Play Rough.
Okay. That is pretty goofy, but yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna just move us past that one because it doesn't seem like there's actually too much to say about the latter season. But honestly, there was a lot of teams posted. Go ahead.
I was scrolling through the Zacian players page to see if they posted it, and apparently they did not post it, and also they used a different team in the the global challenge to get 17th place, which I guess we're going to talk about, and they just use like a relative they're not entirely standard, but they use a Calyrex size team. Yeah, so it's the same person. They just like, nah, this ain't it. Or is it not the same person? It's on their Twitter page.
Got it.
Nope. Twitter's just broken. Never mind. Hold up. I'm just totally wrong.
Sure. All good. We'll get back to the bottom of this. But also, Snoopy, thank you for the sub. Welcome back to Tub Nation. Appreciate it. Okay. Play Rough from. Oh wow, it does just kind of one shot some Miraidons. Okay, and
That's
disgusting.
I mean,
that's they'll definitely like fall
Miraidon
for it because
you can't bet on Miraidon having no bulk anymore,
dude,
man.
Yeah, like you can't.
That's true.
I also know that some people were running double kick on their Ogre Pond to click tail and double kick into Champaz.
And into Smeargle. There's so much Smeargle in the GC that messes it up.
Wait, Snoopy said, so if I finish ahead of Alex and Justin, that means I win Vancouver, right? Wait. Oh.
What?
You mean, I was going to think you meant like Justin Burns, but if you mean like Justin Tang, maybe? Because we both did really bad. But I was like, yeah, I'll talk about my GC run, but I think I ended like 1560. Like, it was not good.
Yo, same.
You know what? Before we dive into the results, let's talk about that really quick. I'll try to be quick with it, but I ended up using the same team that like, don't get it twisted. I was the one who came up with the team. Justin used it to get 22nd overall. But the team is like, I don't know. It was hilarious because I played 6 Zamazentos in my first 12 rounds, and I didn't want to be playing against Zam. And I was like, who would play Zam in best of 1? It's so boring. Like, there's no spice there. Of course, I queue into like 50% Zam rate in my first like 12 games. In my, I get double crit to lose to a Zam, and I'm just like, all right, whatever. Load up the next one. I get standard Miraidon. I'm like, I know this matchup. This is good. I'm so happy to see this. It DCs in team preview, like both of us. I don't know. It was a voided game. Like it didn't give me a win or. No. I didn't. That's what I'm saying. Is like I didn't win points, but I also didn't lose points. I was still online. It was very confusing. Queue up another one, Zam again, and I was just like, all right, yeah. What is the point? Why do I even go on from here? Like, just give me some easy matchups. And yeah. But yeah, some of my friends still did pretty well with the team, including Justin. Also, funnily enough, I know I think 2 people that ran the teams also just like messed it up. One person, it was what's it called? The drum beating Rillaboom. One person didn't run Glide. They forgot to change that move, so they ran Woodhammered beating, drum beating. And so it was like, okay, I guess they did trick somebody with that one. Beat a Shadow Rider 1v1. And then I think Justin might have had no Thunderwave on the Grim, which was like, wait, that's like a really important move. But maybe it helped him do even better. But yeah. Anyways, Adi, what happened with yours?
Yeah, so I was traveling this weekend, so I only had Sunday to play any games, and so I was using the same 6 Pokemon that Tia Team used to get top 8 at EUIC with very different sets. I figured because Tia Team used Calm-Mind, Cloak, Calyrex, Shadow, and I have used that set in the past. People might just kind of assume that I'm running that set and get caught off guard by like Life Orb, Calyrex, Shadow, which I thought would be a cool little tech. And honestly, the first 30 games were going exceptionally well. I think I was 21-8 and in first 29 games, and I was up to 1700. And I was like, all right, 1700, to take a little bit of a break. I got to go +3 in my next few games to get to the point where I want to be at, which is about 1735, 1740. Just looks like the cutoff for the top 32 points. And so I was feeling really good. And then I faced and I think part of it was I faced a lot of Zamazenta as well in the 15 and 1600s. They really were everywhere, but I was farming them. It's my best matchup. Faced a lot of Koraidon. I had a really good matchup into that. Faced a lot of I faced Kyle's team 3 times in the first 30 games. And every single one of them did the exact same thing on turn 1 and turn 2. it was the freest matchup. Everyone clicked Terra, like Calyrex Shadow Urshifu, and clicked Terra Water with their Calyrex Shadow, with their Urshifu, and I clicked Fake Out Astral Barrage and I killed them all 3 times. It was crazy. So that kept happening. Got a lot of free points that way. And then I am okay. So 21-8, 16 games left. I got to go like 9-6 in the last 15 to get where I want to. I go 1-8. I completely crater. I end up at like 1560. And the first loss in that streak, I play against an opposing Calyrex Shadow team, and I'm feeling pretty good. I Surging Strikes them, and I think they have a Clefairy on the field, and I Surging Strikes them. And I do like 50, like maybe under 50. And I'm like, oh, they're like bold, and they have leftovers recovery. And so I'm like, kind of get an idea of how this game is going to go. They're clicking Calm Mind, and I finally get in a position where my +2 Helping Hand Astral Barrage is going to pick them up. It's going to knock them out. And they protect, and they switch in their Incineroar. And of course, I go for Helping Hand Astral Barrage. And I'm thinking, that's just fine. I'm just going to do this again next turn. I do over half to their Incineroar. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting 2 KOs no matter what next turn. And then the Incineroar's item activates. And it's a red card. And they eject my Calyrex Shadow. And I immediately lose the game. It was insane.
Red card is so base, dude. Bring it back.
And that was the beginning of the end. And I yeah, I had a big losing streak and gave up on the run. So yeah, that was kind of how that went. But there's 3 more GCs. I've got pretty good points from 2 of them. So yeah, not too worried, all things considered.
I love the Global Challenge. What a good tournament. I'm glad that it matters for people's points to qualify towards the World Championships.
Yeah, well, we can't all just be abstaining. Some of us are out here grinding and losing our minds. I didn't even know red card was an item. You would if you started back in 2016 or whatever. Like when it was. And you do now.
Red card Incineroar was
okay.
Against
okay, hold on. Yeah. Let me tell one. I'll try to make it quick, but I got absolutely cooked by a 1500 Japanese player. Like,
classic.
They led Sableye Smeargle, so you already know it's off to a good start. I faked them out because I'm like max speed Rillaboom and do something. I can't remember what the other thing was, but they skill swap Prankster onto the Smeargle, but that's not where the fun ends, because the Sableye gets Moody and has Eject Pack. So the Sableye gets to switch out after the Moody that it obtained from Smeargle activates Eject Pack. And I was like, this is fine. Like, I'm going to be fine. I just Grassy Glide the Smeargle, but Burning Bulwarks. And I'm like, well, now I'm burned. I'm burned on my Rillaboom. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna Struggle Bug this Terapagos that came in after the Sableye to keep its damage down. Struggle Bug doesn't do anything; it's Covert Cloak, and they set up a Rock Polish, and then they go on to just like decorate themselves and just destroy my whole team. And I was like, there's no way that you get to follow that script every single game. But yeah, it did really cook me. Come on, leave me alone. Yeah, that was awesome. I knew they were gonna skill swap the Prankster onto the Smeargle, but like, yeah.
Followed up with the Burning Bulwark.
Yeah,
diabolical.
Burning Bulwark is such a bad move. Why did they use? Because like Taunt still goes through it. It doesn't even stop Taunt. Okay, let's talk about the results to come out of this one. So, Elizabeth, a known strong ladder warrior, who built some strong teams back in Regulation H, built this team and also won with it. won this global challenge this time around with the craziest looking team, and apparently it gets crazier when you actually take a peek inside. I don't know if I've actually seen anybody like recreate the OTS out there or anything like that. But as far as I know, this is Leech Seed Calyrex, which is awesome. Leech Seed sub Calyrex. I actually saw this while scouting a Japanese ladder stream before the tournament. It was on a very different team though, but they were using sub Leech Seed Terra Fairy, and it is just like kind of hilarious to me that Calyrex has like really decent synergy with Leech Seed, because what is immune to Leech Seed but grass types, and you can just hit them with Glacial Lance. So that's like kind of maddening. In closed team sheet though, like I don't think anybody's going to be switching in their things to get ready for Leech Seed. Regardless though, yeah, the team has like a bit of like a stall element. Could this work in OTS? I definitely asked that question. Don't worry. I was like, is this my Vancouver team? And it isn't, because I would never use Dondozo. I have like a pact against using that thing. But
here's your answer, okay?
Yeah.
If you think that you're gonna run into a funny guy, a funny blue fish named Kyogre, the answer is no. Because look at this team and tell me how you avoid getting water spouted in rain.
Well, that's what the Storm Drain Tatsugiri is for.
It's
true.
Dude, just yeah, you're right. No, I'm sorry. You're right.
I have no idea if it's actually Storm Drain or not, but I can't imagine it is. No. But like, surely you just have a Terra, right? Like if you Terra Grass the Calyrex Ice, like you're probably okay. If you Terra the Tinglu, you can sit in front of it. Like I can see ways that you can deal with Kyogre with this team.
But I don't see ways in OTS that you can deal with Kyogre.
No, for sure. Yeah, one thing as well is, I was thinking the same, Max, that when Ray used Storm Drain Tatsu back in one of the previous qualification runs for the Japan cycle. But anyways, I don't know if it was this team. It might have been this team, but I think I said that the Calyrex might or might not have sub. I think the Dozo was Terra Fighting sub. That's also something that I saw floating around, which is crazy. Terra Fighting sub, assumedly to make your body press hit harder. This is the defense boosting Tatsugiri. But yeah, this team, it just looks deranged. I mean, it just looks like crazy.
Perfect fit. Perfect fit.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Do we want to talk about the secret strat that Elizabeth used to do so well? No.
If you would like to explain, Adi, go ahead.
You want to go ahead.
You want to pull the tweet up?
I have to go find it. Yeah, I can.
Hold up,
it.
I got it. I'll link it in chat.
Speed dial. That's awesome, man.
I was looking it up. You just click translate post. That's all you need. That's really.
This is your GC winner, everybody. The person that just won the most recent global challenge.
I never thought I would see the day.
If anyone was wondering what our meme was this week, this is what it was referring to. All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah, this is
guys. It has to be the strat. How else does he keep doing this? There's no other reason.
Yeah, they are. The thing is, they are very good at Pokemon. I don't think there's a correlation, but like, why? I just wish that people could be a more normal, please.
No, in all honesty, tweeting that is evil, man. That's like a diabolical tweet for a mainly Pokemon account, bro.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And by the way, I saw that tweet after I saw the global challenge winning tweet, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Elizabeth follows me, I'll follow back. And then I just like I'm scrolling through Twitter, I do a little refresh, and then I see this, and I'm like, what does this mean? And I click translate post, and I'm like, this is the first tweet that I'm seeing from this guy after I started following him.
The thing is it started very unprompted, by the way. Like, the original tweet in the thread is just like, I'm sure I can beat anyone in terms of numbers. I blanked during the qualifying period. Like nobody went and said like what's your secret to success or like how do you cope with the stress of tournaments or something like that. They just put it out there and just said, "Hey, by the way, everybody, this is something I do." And this is crazy. I know. Goon
Anyways,
Squad.
the top post on our VGC right now is how do I stop emotional struggles and tilt when it comes to VGC?
No.
I've been so tempted, to drop that in there.
It's be the perfect thing to hop on into a Reddit burner and just post that and never post again. That'd be the perfect thing.
So I used a team built by Elizabeth in Regulation H, and I was like a big fan of their building. I would still say that they're absolutely cooking up cool teams. But I was just thinking about like if I saw them at Worlds, I before this I might have shaken their hand, but afterwards I'm a little bit worried. So. Okay. Keeping it moving though, it looks like the team that got second was it was CSR with Pow Knight. Funnily enough, they do actually have solid synergy. Is that post still up? Yeah, I do believe it's still up. Anyways, and then Marco Fierro ended up running the same team from.
You buried the lead. It's Scarf Calyrex Shadow.
Oh, can I click it for info?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go! What the heck?
This is baller.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Lefties Pelipper? What is going on?
That one I don't get. I can't imagine when that would come up.
There's so many better items, surely. Iron Defense Pelipper.
No.
I don't think it gets that move. But yeah, like I don't know. Covert Cloak, safety goggles. Yeah, you're right. The stockpile spit up set. That one. Okay. Marco Fierro ended up getting I think number 1 in championship points earning regions.
It was number 1 CP region, yep.
So Marco gets the win for this one, and did also make a joking tweet about it, I believe, saying like I needed the points definitely. Yeah, here we go, like 2,000
much needed points. This is diabolical, man.
Yeah. At this point, it's just gatekeeping, stealing points from everybody else.
Dude, it's just
Marco was one of the people in GC1 to play their very last game and overtake me with no time left on the clock and get top 32.
I guess it doesn't matter because he is auto-qualled though. So, anyways.
He's literally like prowling the streets and then taking candy from children whenever it's like
Yeah.
he's literally just like punching down, man. At this point,
Yeah.
there's no reason he has to keep playing.
Oh, true. Somebody said Leftovers is better into Leech Seed Calyrex. That's true. But they didn't end up winning the
Why didn't they
GC.
win?
6 points behind, though. 1,800, man. That's a crazy feat to cross. And then, I didn't actually realize this. It was Arubega running Arubega who got
Shocker.
4th. Wow. This is crazy. Though, the updated version that people have been talking about with like the Mystic Ursh, Sash Whim.
Endeavor is on the whims on most of these.
I got Endeavored by a whim, and I did not account for it. And yeah, I mean, wanted to break my Switch in half, but didn't. It's still there. But like that was like my Terapagos went from very much a lot of health to very much not a lot of health, and I'm just like, oh come on, leave me alone.
Yeah,
that's a fun tech. I'm trying to think. So the thing about our Rebecca, the team, is that I feel like every single player plays it differently, and so it's really frustrating to try to like in best of one to try to get a read on someone when they will like just bring different Pokemon every single time. It's just genuinely very difficult to play against in best of one, and it's why it keeps doing well. We see if you scroll down, you're going to see a whole bunch more of them. Although I think the funniest Arubega I played against went for turn 1 ally switch with their Farigiraf, and it turns out that I targeted the Farigiraf, so the Miraidon died, which is very funny.
Nice.
Yeah, they do have a lot of fun different options that they can run. I mean, even the Iron Hands we've seen in best of 3 open team sheet, we've seen the Iron Hands change up a lot of moves, the Urshifu change up a lot of moves, and so even within, and then of course you mentioned the Whimsicott, so even within the team, there's a lot of different things that they can be doing that you got to account for in closed team sheet.
I actually right after I got endeavored by an Arubega team to lose, I played another Arubega the match after. And they just went for light screen turn 1, and I think I ended up like winning that one. But like it was funny that they like they actually had the exact same lead, and I was like, okay, this is the same thing. They're endeavoring me again, and then they just light screen. I'm just like, this is maddening. This is awesome. Don't get me twisted. I think that the GCs are quite a bit of fun, even if you do get just completely trolled and owned sometimes. I last GC I got owned by Specs Groudon. I think it actually did well enough to place this time, so I might be able to find the person that did it. Somebody linked me a post, so let's see if I'll see if it comes up in the results here. Anyways, Adam, that's my former coaching student. Let's go. Adam got 7th overall, but with a boring ass team, so I don't really want to talk about it. Let's see here. Anything else cool?
Whose OT is Moody Girl? Is that Luca Lucignoli?
Which number?
It's 12th place.
Oh, 12. Oh, that does sound familiar, but can't remember.
It's a familiar OT. It's all I'm saying.
Let me see if I can grab. I had a screenshot.
Yeah, you're right. It's Luca Lucignoli.
Lucignoli. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I swear I saw somewhere around here the like top 16 points. Let's see. How do I right click, open in browser, open link? There we go. Yeah, I don't imagine that this will be subject to change, but yeah, this is the top 16 in championship points. I wish it was down to top 32 because I actually kind of want to know who got 32nd and what points that was.
You can find it. It's on your Play Pokemon page.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll go digging for that in a bit.
Also, I didn't realize Dicky Nicola. I thought that was an Indonesian player. I know they played for Indonesia in World Cup, so I didn't know they were. I didn't realize that they were going to be in a championship point earning region, but maybe they're playing in like Australia.
Right. Marcus ended up doing really well, which was cool to see. I mean, this is the same 6 that you used, right, Audie? I think is that what you were saying. I can't remember if
that is the same 6. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So we both can feel inadequate for people doing well with the same 6 as us. Anyway, not to pick on you too much. Actually, Audie's got more GC points than me. He doesn't have to feel too bad. I think you probably do. What are your finishes?
I got a top 60. I got a 33rd, so top 64. I got a top 32, and I've got a whatever 20 points is. I think is my 3rd place finish right now.
Got it. Okay, so you do have one you're trying to replace. I mean, I've got 2 128s that I'm not loving, and then my top 8 or whatever. And okay, yeah. Let's see. Sableye. This one has a whole team building article for it. That's kind of fun. What's the Sableye doing?
See it.
Sableye.
It's literally the most boring Sableye, I think.
Is it just Screens Wisp T-Wave?
I think so.
Oh, come on. Oh, but it's CM Maridon.
I get it, right? Everyone expects your Sableye to do something goofy, and then it's like, no, I'm just clicking the standard buttons.
I think in the GC, the pressure of having a mon like Sableye on the board, where you don't know what it can go for, is half the worth of the Pokemon.
I saw somebody explain it like they had like a really good logic for Sableye, in my opinion, is that like it's so known for having like Encore and or Disable. And it does get Fake Out, and it's like a really good Pokemon to be running Fake Out on. Like people would be aware of it, but like it can sometimes be a death sentence to protect in front of a Sableye because then you just get Encored afterwards. And so it is just like a Pokemon you can get free Fake Outs off with, especially considering it's a Ghost type of Fake Out. Like he can't even be dealt with by a faster Fake Out. So I feel like I would always be running that. And then I say that, and next GC I'm going to pull up with no Fake Out Sableye. You got to keep them guessing. But anyways, no, I think that Sableye is an awesome mon. Is this one I'm thinking it is? Oh, they didn't post any info. I know that the Eruption Entei has been going around. That's a funny one.
But it's mainly on Groudon, I'm pretty sure.
Right, that would make sense. Toller did well with a relatively boring Kyogre. There's Burns, we just talked about, and then more of this Screamtail team. Everyone's just loving it. I'm seeing it on both ladders, apparently. People just think this is the coolest team to ever do. Yeah, I guess so.
Well, not just the Italians. I see a Japanese player who did well with the 2 down at 71. So there's a few different people.
Okay. Mousehold on Ice Rider. That's kind of cool. Do we got info? No.
Just like faint, probably.
It could be. Yeah, very well could be. Let's see. See, like the thing is like you do have to just check some of the boring ones sometimes for like, oh, I actually ran Arabega, but it was Scarf Maridon,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think the Kyogre teams are probably the single most infuriating teams to play against because they can just be so many different sets, and you never know what they're going to run.
You never know. Yeah, like look at this. I would have never thought that this is specs.
But so I just kind of assume that most, like when I see it now, you just have to assume they're specs or they're choice scarf because those are like the two most common items. But I've also seen, Mystic Water. I've seen Covert Cloak on one of them. Covert Cloak, Terra Electric Thunder. Like they really are just like a maddening amount of different sets that Kyogre can run, and it's just so frustrating to play against.
Wait, was it Bandit Alecki? I didn't even look. Oh yeah, it is.
Sure was.
Dude, I ran CB Alecki in a GC last year. It was pretty fun. It was CB Explosion Trick Room. That shit was fun. Couple of Ice Riders here. Dragapult.
Dragapult.
Always cool. Always cool.
Oh yeah, I did see this tweet, but they didn't give any info besides that it's Terra Dragon Pult, which makes you think it's got to be like darts then, like CB darts probably.
Yeah, just CB darts probably.
But okay, let's see. Anything else?
I think 61 is pretty cool. They have an article about their team, and they have some very interesting sets.
Oh my!
Hello, Electric Seed.
Electric Seed. What? No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 62 is also very interesting, and they also have an article, which is great. We got two very interesting Maridon teams.
Cloak.
But yeah, Electric.
Dude, this is what would piss me off is that like I always like maybe it's a trap to fall into. But like I would look at a Iron Hands and think, oh, they have a Chen Pao on the team. Surely they're not running Ice Punch. They don't need more ice coverage. They've got 2 dragons. Like they can already hit dragon Pokemon. Like my Raging Bolt's safe here, and then they Ice Punch me, and I'm like, dude, leave me alone. That's funny. Okay, this one. Wait, that's a Baxcalibur, dude.
Cascase, what is this? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Covert Cloak on Maridon is so troll. I think it's really funny because it doesn't get hidden. People think you're choice specs until they try to click fake out into you.
Yeah, and then your Electric Drift doesn't kill anything. It's
well,
genius.
I mean, I guess.
Well, that's what Fake Tears on the Grimmsnarl is for. Is it Fake Tears on Grimmsnarl? I didn't even check.
Okay.
Oh,
I was unfamiliar with this game. I'm sorry.
I think so, right? Fake Tears. I can't tell.
Oh my God, Scizor.
These are all boring. Oh, what?
There was a Scizor team going around on High Ladder, so it was like a known thing. Is that
That's Expert Belt?
Okay, I actually haven't seen Expert Belt in so long. I did not know what it looked like.
Bro, is there a team going around on High Ladder the one with Bruxish?
Yeah, it is the one with Bruxish.
Yeah.
I played that. I played that in the GC. I saw Pranav use that at the UIC. I kind of assumed it was Pranav, but then he didn't say anything about our match afterwards, so maybe it wasn't him. But yeah,
no,
I pulled the open team sheet up because I was like, so what I do in the GC is I like to pull up. I like to have Lab Mouse open, and if I see a weird team, I like to see if anyone's used it before. And so it's like, oh, this is someone. This is like a known team, even though it's a bunch of weird mons, and having the open team sheet in front of you makes it a lot easier.
Gambito does this thing during the global challenges where every single member is playing the global challenges just as like a turn by like a run by run of each game in their GC. And I think I clicked on 3 separate points on Banfox's channel, Justin's channel, and Zach's channel, and they were all like, I lost to the fucking Bruxish team.
Yeah.
They were all panicking about that. So I did a little bit of digging, and I was like, oh, it's not just one person. It's like half of Japan is on this stupid ass team, bro.
Guys, it's a pop quiz. They have hid everything. They've hidden everything, or they've revealed everything except they're restricted. I guess they haven't shown the items. What is it? What? We're not going to get the answer. I'm just kind of curious what you guys think.
What? It's just Calyrex.
I just checked the chat, by the way, and I didn't know if Zinconic was guessing for this one. I don't think it's Bruxish. I think that might have been about the previous discussion, but it's Bruxish.
I think I could see Cali Ice. I could see Cali Shadow.
That's my
I
guess.
don't know what else it could be, right? I really can't see anything
It's
else.
just got to be
Like-
either Calyrex.
Zama, maybe. but
Triple fighting? I don't know.
I've seen worse.
Just
I
no
don't know,
restricted. Maybe they did it. Maybe they actually just ran no restricted. You know.
Maybe Broxdish is the restricted we've been looking for all along.
Groudon. Groudon's not a bad pick. But
There's
I
no
don't
way
know.
this is Groudon.
Yeah, it
It
would
would
have
to be
more
Dark
like
Shifu then,
yeah.
and that doesn't really seem right.
They have 4 physical attackers. Surely it's a special restricted. I could buy it somewhat.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
the double fighting makes me think it's Calyrex Shadow, right? That's the main
I
reason why I think
probably
it's
is
CSR.
just CSR.
But I could also definitely see the coaching with Calyrex Ice as well. So
Yeah.
Right.
who knows?
Riku Gooners.
It surely means something else.
Yeah. Sorry, sorry
No, you're
to
good.
distract from the point here. Hello, Dondozo.
There is some fish. Couple of fish
There's
actually.
so much fish. What is that?
Ooh, I think I lost to this person. It was just banded Lando, like with Leer Tornadus, and I was just like,
Oh,
I'm dead as
That's
hell.
I
Yeah.
do think that, I mean, me and Tommy DeRosa were testing out Lando T with Palkia last in Reg G Part 1, and that was like low key. If you can just spam Earthquake, it is quite good. You do have to deal with the whole Rillaboom thing, but if they don't have a Rillaboom, it's a strong move.
But
I just
but
also
that's
look at
why
this team.
That's why you have like Kepao and Zama, because Rillaboom, as a Zama player, Rillaboom is so disincentivized from showing up, even if those two Pokemon exist. Like
Exactly.
It's very difficult to bring your Rillaboom into a matchup where it's getting OHKO'd by both Pokemon on the board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. I think it's a well-built concept there. You get to just roll them over with Earthquake, and they're too damn scared to bring their Rillabooms.
Yeah.
This is a Mimikyu, though. If they're hiding their team, we're probably not actually going to get much information about it. Oh, they just didn't. The mons just didn't get ported in. But it looks like it's just hard TR. I like that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't think it's consistent, but it's did well enough here. Oh man, yeah. This everyone just like
Yeah, it's just everywhere, man.
Oh my god.
It's the team to beat for sure.
I guess so.
What is that? Hold on.
Which one?
The Eternatus with the.
Let's start with the Regigigas.
Okay.
So that is Dave Kutesh's team. He actually posted it on Twitter today, maybe I think, and he said anyone can DM him and get it before the GC. So that is Hamster Mania's team.
Yeah, I gotta remember that, like, we gotta cater to the people who were like streaming too, because I also have seen this team and I just kind of casually scrolled by. I was like, oh, I know what that one is, but no, 100% I can see why people don't know this one, because it is stupid looking. It's Specs Eternatus with Terra Poison Sludge Wave, I believe, paired with the Tinkaton. I know somebody in my group chat once, at least one person lost to that one. They were like, I couldn't do anything.
I am very interested in the next Eternatus team and what it's trying to do.
This was so cool.
Is it double pressure?
Okay. Yes, but that's not the interesting part. Scroll to the Tornadus item.
Is it Grassy Seed or
No? Tell me what that item is without looking it up, without scrolling down, without anything.
Is that a Jaboka berry?
Is it
You got
Jaboka
it.
Berry? Okay.
It is. And now that is explicitly for, and the only reason that you would ever have this thing over Rocky Helmet is for Champao Icicle Crash and Ogerpon Rock Ivy Cudgel.
Yep.
And it does break the sash and the sturdy of both of those.
Yes.
I saw this team posted in chat, and I was like, this is the first time in recent memory that I've had to look up what an item does. So
Me and Adi have a story about Jaboka Berry. Adi, go ahead.
Yep. Yeah. So back in 2022, we were running Calyrex Ice, and we had an Amoonguss, and at Milwaukee Regionals, we didn't know what to run on it. I didn't attend Milwaukee, but Justin and Alex ran Bright Powder on their Amoonguss because it was like, well, we don't actually know what item we're supposed to run, and it never comes up.
No item ever came up.
Yeah, and so at before NAIC, we were like, we got to figure out something good. We ended up deciding on Citrus Berry because I think it came up in the Kyogre matchup some percentage of the time. But we were considering for that Kyogre matchup, which usually had a Shedinja on the team, we were considering Jaboka Berry specifically because it's the only thing that consistently kills Shedinja on our entire team.
Shedinja at the time was using Poltergeist, which is a non-contact physical attack.
Yeah.
So it had Shadow Sneak and like Wisp, I think. I don't remember. There was something like that. Ally Switch Protect, maybe. I don't remember. But regardless, it could beat the Amoonguss that were Helmet without touching it with a contact move. And so we had to do that, but we didn't end up actually going through with it. This person went through with it, and for Cudgel and Pow, that's actually so awesome. I think that's incredibly based.
I think it's really cool. The other thing that maybe kind of takes all of our hype away is if you actually read the article, they say at some point that Tornadus was the most useless Pokemon in the world, and they never brought it to like a single game. So
No,
we're kind of gassing up this Pokemon for nothing.
no.
But like, it, I think it's cool. I think it's.
I
like those unique item choices.
I love the GC because there's just like so much insane shit. Like now just a couple teams down, there's Clodsire. Yeah, they're but I thought they posted it. Maybe did they end up posting it? No.
I've been practicing using Clodsire. What is Orgazian? I don't know what Pokemon that is. I've been practicing using something for the past 6 months, and Miraidon was too difficult for me. So when I saw Regi's Clodsire, I used it, and it was really strong. Okay, it's the Miraidon matchup, naturally.
I guess so.
Yep. Yep. It sure is.
I mean, what is your Miraidon doing into the ground poison type? That's the question.
You're right. Draco Meteor will do 0 damage.
No. Listen, they're unaware of the Draco drops.
What is your Iron Hands doing into a Clodsire? It's the answer.
Dude, that one Golurk team from last GC, that was cool. That was the Iron Hands counter. Let's see. Okay, we've hit the bottom here. But somebody using the Oranguru Miraidon strat, that one is always funny to see in action. The Covert Cloak Symbiosis Pass with Electric Seed strat. It's pretty goofy. Yeah, anyways, that's we probably covered most of them. The thing is like, again, there's probably a lot of like very chill looking teams that are actually in fact not chill. So
but you'll never know.
Yeah, that is the fun part. But yeah, I really do I do think that the GC is funny as hell, and we have 2 more in this format, so shop around for ideas.
Yay! I'm so glad that you guys I get to witness suffering.
Right.
Some more. It's great.
I'm having a great time playing Best of One. I gotta say, the thing about Best of One is I can play it on my phone, and it's just like the best mobile game. Besides Bellatra. Bellatra is incredible. But yeah, like Best of One on the phone, like Best of 3 on the phone, I have to like click and hold onto the Pokemon and see like, oh, what's your set? Oh, let me squint my eyes. Whereas like on Best of One ladder, I'm just like, I'm queuing up 3 games at once. I'm bouncing between them, clicking the stupidest buttons, and then just going next.
Dude, I was thinking of like legitimately buying an iPad so I could play a Pokemon Showdown on it and play Best of 3s without having to like, what is this move that is in front of me right now?
Let's actually talk about this because when was the presents? I forgot that I don't think we covered that on Top Takes yet.
We didn't. I did. Me and Justin Burns did a little live stream where we live reacted to it. If you want to see our entirely live reactions to it, but I guess we haven't talked about it on Top Takes.
Let's throw it over to you, Marcus. What's your thoughts on Champions?
Champions is interesting, and it's going to entirely depend on what actually it is, because it's impossible to kind of say right now exactly what we're dealing with. Because the trailer tells us like, oh, Pokemon on your phone. Oh, it's also on the Switch. Oh, look, there's a Mega Evolution and terastallization. But like, there's no way for us to actually conceivably say how much of a difference it's going to make for VGC.
Mm-hmm.
Because like on the one hand, if it is a simulator where you can literally just, like Pokemon Showdown, put Pokemon into the roster, like add their moves and abilities and etc., then it's great. That's awesome because it's like just a Pokemon game you can play on your phone. But if it's like I think that's really ambitious for us to be thinking that way when we know how Pokemon is.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, this is probably just like another like entry into like a cash grab thing where it's like focused on double battles or whatever. So like I obviously think there will be some sort of impact on VGC, but how significant that impact is going to be determined on the semantics, which it's impossible to tell right now.
The monetization is a big question mark, absolutely, on whether it's going to be like a subscription.
Well,
no, like
wasn't it confirmed that it would not be a free game? We'd have to buy the game.
Yeah, we have to buy the game.
Oh, okay.
So then,
yeah,
and it also is confirmed that you can transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Home over to Pokemon Champions.
Like that's why I'm apprehensive about like whether it's actually going to be a easier access way to play VGC or whether it's just another barrier of entry.
This is going to probably be too boomer of a reference. They did show them in the trailer, though, but it's like, is this Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Battle Revolution or whatever? You know, like, is this just like we can put our Pokemon onto it and like battle, but we have to like, you know, it does mention that you can obtain Pokemon in it some way.
Yeah.
And that it says like those Pokemon cannot leave. Like those Pokemon cannot come out of the game, which, I mean, as a person mostly I would say largely interested in just a competitive outlet, I don't care about that, you know, like I don't care if I can't use a shiny Pokemon unless I legitimately obtain it in another game. That doesn't bother me. Like I just want to like battle. But yeah, I'm very optimistic about this for the future of VGC. It's really crazy. I do think that one of the best, it's not the best comparison, but like we did just have Pokemon Pocket come out recently, and while that isn't like the TCG, it's like a mini version of the TCG. Like I'm wondering if we get that route some kind of way as well, you know? And like if a future mainline Pokemon game comes out, are we not going to go play on that? Are we just still going to be on Champions? There's a lot of weird questions.
There's so much up in the air at this point that it's like so difficult to identify what this game will actually mean. I mean, but the worst case scenario is that it like broadens, like it brings VGC to a different audience, which like that's not a bad thing at all. So I think it can only overall be probably a good thing, but how good of a thing it is, well, that'll come in time, I guess.
I think that there's no guarantee that they don't screw it up, for sure. I agree. But I think that this is like unilaterally a good thing. It's going to help the game grow for sure. But I think, you know, addressing a couple of the points, I think my main takeaway from Scarlet and Violet was that Scarlet and Violet was so clearly not meant to have competitive play on it, or competitive play was an afterthought when they were making the game. Like the game was so unbelievably glitchy, and especially like ranked was so unbelievably glitchy. Going to tournament modes was so unbelievably glitchy when it came out. There were multiple like mechanical things that are only noticeable when you play competitive that were incorrect when the game came out, and they had to patch later on. There yeah, like the spectator mode doesn't work, right? They have a spectator mode in the game that they can only use at the World Championships, and even then they can't even use it consistently because the games crash too often when you are on spectator mode. Like all this stuff shows that despite the fact that all those features existed in previous games, it shows that Scarlet and Violet was not really built with a ranked mode in mind. And I think this is sort of the response to that, is that really these Pokemon games they're changing. We're seeing them experiment more with the Pokemon Legends series. They're trying out new things, and the focus is no longer on the PvP battles in Pokemon, which is honestly, like, I would argue, probably not the strength of the main storyline. And so if they are saying, okay, well, we're going to have some battles for sure, but the like real hardcore competitive games are going to primarily take place in Champions. That is honestly, I think that's great, because it's going to be a better experience with a dedicated app and dedicated, programmers and engineers that are focused on competitive play. And I think this is only possible because of the growth of VGC, because it's become it's kind of outgrown the core series games in some ways. And so in that way, I think it's really, really cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would be ecstatic if this is how we played VGC going forward, and it just got
I play on my
updated
phone.
every time that like a new game comes out and just gets patched with the new Pokemon, right? Like I would be very happy with like just one game that we play for VGC, even if that means that you have to transfer Pokemon from other games. Like that's whatever. Like that's fine. But like the apprehension that I have is that this is just going to be a simplified version, because Pocket very much is kind of a more simple version of TCG, just accessible on mobile. So that's what kind of my concern as to like what this game will be, which is just like an oversimplified version of VGC that is just kind of more easily accessible to the public, which is great. But then what's the point if we're just going to keep playing on the mainline games anyways, right? So that's kind of where I'm at.
I know that we're all like cautiously optimistic about it, but I do want to say, like, just thinking about like the potential of it is also a lot of fun. Like one of the things that like, thinking about like what they can do with this, I think about formats actually, is just like how we can do different formats. Like that is like this feels like where they could finally start moving to like maybe even like ban lists, or like like different ways to structure the way that we play formats. Whether it's like oh, the first one has both Megas and Terra, and then the next one only has Megas, next one only has Terra. Or they just bring back Dynamax, whatever. They didn't show it in the trailer. I'm not wanting Dynamax back, but like the possibility of something like that is very much in play for a game like this that's built around competitive Pokemon focus. Like if it is just the actual like showdown replacement that it could be. I mean, is it going to be? Probably not. Like it's not going to be faster than Pokemon Showdown. It's not going to be as easy. There's going to be still too many hoops to jump through, but I'm curious how close we can get, and like I am very excited to see what they do. Like I'm not going to be that let down, because at the end of the day, like I'm always going to play VGC with whatever way that we're going to be playing it, and I don't mind playing it on the regular games. I don't mind playing it on Showdown if I'm still just playing on Showdown because this app doesn't beat it. But I want to see how close they can get. I want to see if they can actually give make a product that competitive VGC players, or just competitive Pokemon players in general, want to see. I didn't even think about it, but like they showed doubles in the trailers, but like, could you play 6v6 singles on this? Like I wonder how that's going to work too. It's weird.
I don't. So okay. I've responses to both of you guys. With respect to Marcus, I know the simplified version, that is like one fear that I had. My first thought was, I wonder if it's just like 2v2, because a lot of these mobile games, they like to make versions of the game that wrap up faster. VGC does go pretty quickly, and if you wanted to make it wrap up faster, you could just reduce the time for the animations, but the animations look pretty good, so like I don't know if they're actually going to do that. But yeah, that is definitely a concern. But to the bigger thing that excites me even more is that, like what you said, Alex, is that the mainline games now, they're doing one every like 4 years, right? Like we're not going to get off of Scarlet and Violet until 2027 Worlds earliest, right? And that is a long time, and they are going to run out of ideas for new formats if they are stuck on the same game over that long period of time. Whereas, like you said, the mobile game, especially when it has different generational mechanics in it, you can rotate through a whole lot more formats. And so with this series model that they are moving towards, or regulation model they're moving towards, it means that, yeah, we really could have a format where, okay, this format we have Z moves, and the next format we have megas, and the next format we have Z moves and megas, and then next format we have Dynamax and neither of those guys. And you can literally fill out an entire generation with that very, very easily. And so the fact that they can rotate their formats, the fact that they can do balance patches, they could try ban lists, they could try like experimental formats with like a fun ladder on the side because it's like a dedicated platform for competitive Pokemon. All these different things are really, really exciting, and I think they are going to experiment with all these different ideas. And I think that that's really cool for VGC is that, yeah, because I mean, looking at the trading card game, and looking at Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Pokemon trading card game, which I'm more familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh!, they've kind of created a 24-hour news cycle in some ways around these games. It's part of why, like, part of their like content ecosystem in a lot of ways, and it's really interesting. And VGC does not have that. But even this weekly podcast, sometimes we just have to find ways to fill time because we can run out of things to talk about, because you can only talk about the same format that goes on for 4 months for so long when there aren't like brand new tournaments. And this changes that because they really can do limited time events. They can release new Pokemon, make changes, do all these things in a lot shorter turnaround time. And so I think it's going to really, really, it's going to expand on VGC a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's definitely really exciting to think about all the potential that it has, and we're all going to be cautious because there's no reason to set ourselves up for failure and just be disappointed when they deliver something that's like Pocket, or like the 2v2 like would be just like kind of a bummer. It's like that's not VGC. But yeah, they definitely I saw some people mentioning in the chat they were definitely trying to win over the VGC crowd with the way that the trailer was made and such, so that it's definitely like a strong start. It looks like they are trying to appeal to VGC players.
The way that they made the trailer and the advertisement even is very, very, very obviously catered to the competitive crowd. So
is that what the sweat's supposed to be, right? Like saying like we're like sweats
type shit, man.
That's what I thought.
I think that that's like the reason that I have any amount of like optimism about this, where it's like if they're putting in the effort to advertise to us specifically, hopefully they'll put in the effort to make this as meaningful for the community as it can possibly be. So I'm excited to see. I'm excited to get more news on it. Is what I'll say.
Yeah, that's the part that's just like
what I'm looking forward to.
This is how I feel about like all like games that are coming out that I'm like excited about, is that I want to forget about them as quickly as possible. Because it is so much easier to like get like it's just so much easier to like be told like 2 weeks out like, oh yeah, the game's coming out in 2 weeks, and be like, oh, this is awesome, I actually get to like I know when this is coming out, I'm excited for it. Whereas like right now it's just kind of like torture because it's like, oh, there's no actual release date. They might promise 2026 and then it's actually 2027, like because it gets pushed back, it gets delayed, whatever. I'm just gonna go back to like forgetting about it because thinking about it forever, it's just gonna be like just a self-torture essentially. So but
I do
looking forward to it. Go ahead, Ani.
I do have one more opinion related to things that we were talking about, which is how to get mons. Because they did mention you could transfer mons from Pokemon Home. I thought I heard that they walked back the thing that you can't transfer mons back to Pokemon Home, but I'm not sure about that. But the main thing is, I think that it's not going to be Pokemon Showdown where you can just take any Pokemon and you can, drag its stats and make it optimal in 30 seconds. I think you will have to obtain Pokemon. I wouldn't be surprised if the monetization model made it so it was easier to obtain Pokemon if you put money into it. But I also think that it is going to be relatively easy to get Pokemon compared to the main storyline, because the entire game is focused around competitive Pokemon. And so they're not going to make it difficult to obtain competitive Pokemon. They want people to be able to play their game. And so even so, if getting a single competitive Pokemon in game takes like an hour right now, I imagine it'll take you'll have to accumulate resources and it'll take like 15 minutes, maybe.
Dude,
Something like
what if
that.
we have to
Like,
open
it should be easier.
packs? What if we have to open packs to get our mons? That would be so hype. What if there was a gacha system? Yo,
No,
I mean,
I finally pulled Urshifu. Let's go!
right? Like I'm sure there will be something like that, and I'm sure there will be. But like, yeah, I think overall, I would be shocked if this wasn't actually easier to get Pokemon than in game and harder than Pokemon Showdown, and it's going to be somewhere in between. Don't know exactly where, but also that being said, for most of us, I don't think it makes that much of a difference because we have access to basically every Pokemon already through our games, and we have Pokemon Home, so we can just transfer those Pokemon to Home and transfer them over. And Pokemon Home does wipe some things, namely the moves. So you will have to teach them the new moves in whatever method they have in that game. But other than that, yeah, it should be pretty trivial for anyone who already plays VGC to get Pokemon. And I don't think they want to make it so we have such a huge advantage over anyone starting out. So I think it will be at least initially quite easy to get Pokemon in that game as well. I wouldn't worry about that nearly as much.
Can't wait to pay for Urshifu the third time. Let's go. I want to buy Urshifu again, man. I'm excited. All right. So yeah, if they end up dropping more news on this in the future, we'll of course try to remember to talk about it because this is definitely relevant to VGC players in the VGC scene. So regardless though, let's go ahead and talk about what's happening this coming weekend in Vancouver, which is pretty close to me. It's actually only like a 2-hour drive or something like that. 2, 3, I can't remember. But yeah, it's exciting. There are 531 players for Van. Thanks for letting me know. I was actually going to go off of an old number that makes it sound surprising because I think I checked this like less than a week ago and I thought it was like close to 480. So if there was that many, I know that the spots were still open. So if 50 people did just decide like, yeah, actually I really want to go to Vancouver, that would be kind of funny. I'm still imagining that if it's at the number you say there, 530, that we're not going to cross that, 512 threshold. There's definitely some juniors and seniors going to play at this one and no shows.
2 rounds, day 2. 2 rounds, day 2.
Yes.
You can go 8-0 and make top cut.
Oh, is that actually what that means? Huh? I guess the 8-0, would they be done on day 1 essentially? Like they will play the rest for like seeding.
They'll play their other 2, but if they go 8-0, they're in cut.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that one yet, but that's funny. Okay, so yeah, guess just gotta finish at 8-2, and yeah, otherwise, this is going to be a smaller one, and I don't know, Reg G, there's very low levels of interest in it right now, and I do think that like part of when I'm deciding like we're not like I don't know, whatever we rank the regional doesn't actually determine the difficulty that much. Like, it's just kind of our opinion and stuff. But I do think that, like, there's a bit of prestige tied behind the number as well. And, like, winning a sub 500 event coming off the back of, like, the 1,200 person event that was EUIC is not going to feel as, like, glorious. It's still going to be solid. You're getting your auto invite, you're getting your money, and a lot of championship points or whatever. But, yeah, with the amount of players going to this one, definitely feels like a 2 out of 5. And yeah, also Reg G is just like still going. It's still going.
It's working along.
Yeah, other than that, stream for this one. I will be there. Adi, you are not going to this one.
Nope.
And,
I don't think I will be watching it. I'm sorry. Yeah,
right.
I'm just not interested.
EUIC was Reg G with like really high stakes. This is like medium stakes for Reg G, and it's just not. It doesn't make up for the fact that it's still Reg G. So I 100% understand. Marcus, you're gonna be there, right?
So,
tragically, I have to play the Bachelor bit for the 3rd year in a row. It's it's got to happen.
All right.
So I gotta ask. We got a Canadian in chat, and we got a Pacific Northwestern in chat. What is the local metagame going to look like?
Bro, I could tell you that it's going to be hard trick room.
Hard TR.
That's all these Canadians play. They play hard. They play hard TR and Zama, and that's it. If you run into Ryan, he's playing Kyogre, but I think that's like the extent of an actual metagame for Canada at least.
I'm saying that everybody's just gonna run this thing because like it just seems like it's everywhere. So even if it's not like the local metagame, I just feel like this is just what everybody wants to run right now. I don't know. Apparently, other than that, like the local flavor, I could see some Kyogre. And I don't know. Like people like to think of the PNW as running degenerate shit. So, maybe we'll see like a bunch of Lunala or something like that. Like weirder picks. Groudon is another like one of those weirder picks that not a lot of people run. Dude, what happened to Groudon, Marcus? Like it was like you guys were making it look pretty impressive, and then
Dude,
I
that
was like,
team was ass. Dude, Carson just had the run of his life. Which, like, good job, Carson. Good job, Mr. Football Freak 99. But like
True.
the like literally, I can't stress enough. This guy goes like 2-0 to 2-2, and then wins his 2-2 round. I also did the same thing of going 2-0 to 2-2 with the team, but I had the misfortune of hitting what's it called? Hitting Pelipper Zamazenta, which was our auto loss. And he proceeds to go on and go 6-2 on the day. Chuppa's 8-1. Chuppa hits the same Zamazenta Pelipper guy that I did in like the second to last round, and then Carson's just like continuously winning, and then they pair into each other for the win it end.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, what are you gonna do with that one? And then he had to work for his top 32 set. He did have to work for that one because it was like Pelipper or Calyrex or whatever. But then he hit Stefan in top 16 with like the freest matchup that I think I've ever seen committed to the paper of like VGC history. Like there was nothing he could do. So, well, I mean, sorry, he could dodge moves, but aside from that, but yeah, like Carson just ended up having a really, really scuffed run after starting 2-2.
So you're not a Groudon believer.
I'm not a Groudon believer. I think, okay, in all honesty, I think there is no way to make Groudon work in a best of 3 setting that also means it's a consistent team. I think that there's instances that you can use Groudon to great effect, like we saw with Carson. But what you also have to consider with Carson is that there were 4 people running that team. Okay? There was Carson, me, Chuppa, and Joe. Joe and I went 5-3. Chuppa lost to Carson in the win-in, and Carson went on to get cut. That's a pretty like middling conversion rate.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So it's just like if a big group of people bring Groudon, I'm sure one of them is gonna have some sort of deeper run than the others. But I think inherently there's no way to make a Groudon team consistent. That's my spiel about that Pokemon.
When I was looking at like results, or like when I was just like kind of running through the list of archetypes that I need to prepare for Vancouver, I was like, what is the like best Groudon team right now? Is it still that one that Carson ran? And I go and check the results, and like it didn't crack top 128. Like, oh boy.
I'm terrified, man.
Yeah. Anyways, though, let's go ahead and run through the history of Vancouver here, and eventually get to picking a smart money. So we did this a year ago or so when we did last Vancouver. So there's probably a lot of familiar names here. I do know that Hayden just moved back to like the PNW, I believe, but I don't know if Hayden was going to compete. I think signups are probably still open. So
Hayden, I thought Hayden lived in Vancouver. So
they just came back. Or wait, sorry, to Vancouver. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting it mixed up, but they just moved or something like that. Anyways,
My puny new-blooded brain is looking at this, trying to understand and comprehend
Yeah.
these teams.
So
the teams. I thought you meant the names. I was like, we got Riley
that
here.
too.
this was
Yeah.
this was a post Worlds 2017 tournament. This was my second regional ever. 7 rounds of Swiss total, not just day one. And top 16 points. We were like, I think it says 87 players. I think it counts people who didn't show up as well at that time for towards championship points. So we were like 4 or 5 people short of getting that top 32 kicker, which I remember because I went 5-2 and I got 18th place, and so I got 0 championship points. And if we had a couple more people, I would have gotten the 60, and I would have made Worlds that year. So I missed out by 60 points. Gavin got 17th at that tournament, and then also missed Worlds that year. So also kind of funny that happened that way. But yeah, it was yeah. But I mean, that's kind of the nice thing about having these bigger tournaments now is that you have more room for error. At the time, again, there were people who went 5-2 and got top 4 in this tournament, and there are people who went 5-2 and got nothing in this tournament, and that is a kind of crazy dynamic to have, right? So, Vancouver again historically has been one of the smallest tournaments in the North American circuit every year because it's hard to get to. It's relatively isolated. It's across the border for now. And so, yeah, I think. So it's but yeah, this is a wild tournament. It always is it always ends up being having a lot of off meta doing well. I think the Rivers team was not really something that was very commonly seen even in 2017, right, Alex?
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I've stopped listening after for now. So,
that was like one sentence ago.
Okay, Vancouver is always just the schizo regional, right? Like, there's always like look at these teams, man. Like,
yep.
All right, well, moving on to the next one though, because I don't know, I don't think Aaron Zhang is competing at this one. I have to say, Gavin, I don't believe is going to be competing at this one either. We have to talk about. I don't think we've yet to talk about the metagame influence that is Alberto's wedding.
By the way, big congratulations to Alberto and Ellie, who are getting married the same weekend as Vancouver Regionals.
And thank you.
As far as I know, like I'd let them speak on it before I did, but like as far as I know, they actually didn't want this to happen. Like they planned it beforehand, and they were like. They would have tried to pick a date that wasn't a regional weekend if they could have, but Pokemon just didn't announce their dates in enough time for them to move it or anything like that. So they have it on the same weekend as Vancouver. Like Alberto might have been playing at this tournament if it wasn't for this case. But yeah, Alberto isn't going. Ellie isn't going, and then Gavin, I believe, isn't attending that wedding, and so are several other VGC players. So yeah, it's actually taking out some of the competition. That's actually why it's a 2 out of 5. You know what? Now maybe it should be a 1 out of 5 with Alberto's wedding and factored in. No. Anyways. Yeah. So Gavin ended up winning this one. Man, I do remember this one.
Wow. Oh yeah, this was a great one because our Airbnb, our top Airbnb had 8 people in it. Will fell sick and didn't the night before and didn't get to go to the event. So we had 7 people competing, and 4 of us made top cut. 4 of the 7 people who competed, and 4 of the 8 people in top cut were in the same Airbnb, which was kind of sick. And then afterwards, so we were all, I think it was only Justin and Gavin who had to play each other in top cut too. So we were all like kind of helping each other prep for matchups. And then afterwards at the event, Joe Garte was taking bets for who was going to win these matchups, and we knew exactly who was favored in each of these matchups because we'd prepared them down to a science. And so we just took all of Joe's money during top cut.
No, he's always got more. He's always got more, man.
That's true. That's true.
Listen, you think you've taken everything from him, but if you think that, you clearly haven't heard the OCIC casino story. Okay.
Oh no.
Clearly.
Oh my god.
Those who know. Okay. If you know,
right.
know.
Well, so Gavin was telling me that at EUIC, he and Joe were betting on literal coin flips or rock, paper, scissors, one of the two.
Oh, yeah. EUIC after party? Okay, UIC after party, Gavin was going around betting $50 to like it was like 10 different people who took the bet on literally just a best of one rock paper scissors, and he kept winning. Like, I don't think he lost.
It's like it's like he learned some kind of like sleight of hand trick, because like how do you be that consistent?
So he pulled me aside. I forget exactly what he said because I was very intoxicated, but he pulled me aside when I was like, because he was trying to goad me into doing it, right? And I was like, I'm not doing this with you. Whatever it is, man, you figured it out. And he's like, hey, you want to know the secret? You want to know the secret? And then he pulls me aside and he's like, he tells me something. I completely forget what it was.
No.
But I remember having boosted confidence after that, going up to somebody and saying, I'll bet you $15 right now that I'll beat you in rock, paper, scissors. And I won.
Oh my God.
That's what I remember from that night.
That's insane.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. About this regional was really fun. It was, so like you said, Gavin won with Lunadon, Zach Emerizian. Someone asked, is this the first time that we saw Zach's team? I played Zach in top 8, so I can tell you it is not. He also caught Salt Lake City regionals with a very, very similar version of this team, and then did a team report, which really helped my preparation. You might notice that he was using Calyrex Shadow Solgaleo, which is pretty much the freest matchup possible for Gothitelle into Gothitelle, Palkia, Calyrex Ice. It was actually an unwinnable matchup for us. I spent all night preparing. I could not find a single line that worked. Eventually, Raghav managed to figure out a way to turn the matchup into a turn 1 50-50, where if I got it right, I could play the game. And in game 1 and game 2, I got it right. And then managed to lose one of those games anyways, because I still have to play Pokemon. And then we lost game 3 as well. But legitimately, like, one of the craziest sets of Pokemon I've ever played, because it was a really close set and it had no business being anywhere near as close as it was.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Nate Ortiz used a very cool team with Kiram White. That was also like just totally out there. And I remember Kiram, Nate versus John Hu was one of the sets. Just absolutely insane match to watch, and also to prepare against, because John was using Eternatus with Calyrex Shadow. It was so wild. I think Eternatus's only results ever in VGC, I think, was John Hu cutting this regional.
It is the schizo tournament. Like, there is no debate about it.
It's kind of funny, like, I'm seeing John Hu run Inns and Rillaboom, dude. Like, what? I guess everybody had to. I'm looking at the results here, and everybody's doing it.
Yeah. And then and Izzy went 7-0 at this tournament, and then had a team sheet error in top cut because her Kyogre was messed up in some way. It was Adam and Kyogre on the team sheet, and so she had a bit of an uphill battle into Gavin in top 8. Gavin top 8. I think it was
Jean. It was Jean Marc top 8, and then Jean Marc played Gavin in finals, or in top 4. Sorry.
Right. That's it. What was my other story about this tournament? Oh yeah, me and Izzy were 6-0, so we were guaranteed top cut going into the last round. Yes, another 7-round tournament. And in the middle of round 7. I was sitting next to Justin Burns, who was playing his Winnanen. There was a foghorn, because this is right on the docks where all the ferries go out. There was a foghorn right in the middle of round 7. It goes on for like 2 minutes long. It's the loudest thing possible. It's reverberating through the entire convention center while everyone is focusing on the most important games of their lives.
So
it was crazy.
Donald Smith and I were in between game 1 and game 2 of our set in this tournament. Or no, it wasn't Donald Smith. It was another guy. Anyways, it was some guy that I think looks like Donald Smith. Anyways, we were like round 7 of the tournament. We were in between game 1 and game 2, and before we start team preview, the foghorn goes off, and then I before I click the button, I just look up at him, and he looks up at me. And we just don't stop staring at each other until the foghorn goes away. We don't start the game or anything. We just listen to it go. And as soon as it goes away, we're just like, okay, that was fun. Let's start the game too. Other people were not as fortunate as us. They were middle of the game.
Looking at some of the names here, though, I think a lot are not attending. Gavin, not in there. Izzy's not competing. Audie, you're not there. Burns, John Hu are not going. And yeah, I'm not sure about Cortex or not. I can't say for sure.
Cortex has not played a VGC tournament in like a considerable amount of time.
Yeah, since before Worlds, so
yeah. But Zach, I heard, is going in chat. Someone said that, so excited to see him there. He always
Zach
comes
and
up with some
Jean-Marc.
creative stuff.
Zach and Jean-Marc are both going.
Okay,
For
got
sure.
it. Is Nails going? No.
No.
All right, and then the next up, we are back to the Scarlet and Violet era. Marcus, here you are again. You're popping up every now and then on these Vancouver finishes. At 12th, and yeah, this one was won by Sempra Abdullah. With I think this was Nails' team at the time.
It was.
Yep.
And Sableye so close to defending it. Also somebody that I would be surprised, or wouldn't be surprised at this tournament. Gotta say they're pretty certain. Probably no Aaron Zhang, I imagine. We looked at the casting list earlier, but he's not casting, right? No. We got Jake,
No, he's not casting.
Scott, Gabby. All right. Let's see. No Gavin again as well. We just talked about Zach.
Demetrios has been on every single one of these, by the way. He got second, he got ninth, and he got eighth in the third.
We haven't really been talking about him because I wasn't 100% certain he's going or not. But if I would love to see Dimitri competing at this one. He's in the PNW here. I don't get to see him too often. Dimitri, no, he's not. Dang. Len, okay, wait, I just checked, but Len's not commentating, right?
Surely Len is at the wedding, right?
Pretty sure Len's at
Oh,
the
you know
wedding.
what? Len's also
Len's at the wedding because I talked
he got
to him.
taken out.
He was at Merida as well. We should start a hit list of everybody who's been taken out by the
Real,
the
I
wedding.
mean,
right.
straight up.
We saw Riley on that list of players who top cut, and he's going to be at the wedding, I'm sure.
Oh,
so.
you're right. I mentioned him
it's
earlier.
cooked,
Not,
man.
I mean, think
It's
about it.
cooked.
Okay, man. There's Donald.
Was that Freeside? I wonder if Freeside's going to be there. He got top 32.
True.
He's not played a tournament in a while, but
Yes,
no.
that's true.
You know, you never know.
Okay, and then the last
We'll
one, the most
drag
recent
him
one, was won by James Evans here over Brady. I gotta say, I don't know if either of these players are going or not. I imagine James probably
is,
trying to defend.
James is a coin flip. Brady is a.
What do you mean a coin flip? We're like less than a week away.
So what I said.
Yep. What'd you say about Brady?
For the tournament. He signed up for the tournament, but I don't know. I don't know if James is going. Brady is a mysterious creature. I don't know what he's up to. I ask him in calls sometimes whether he's going, and he's like, "I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna go to this one, but maybe." And then that's all he has to say about it.
That's a great Brady impression.
It is a really good impression, but also it almost was also kind of Ash Ketchum somehow. I don't know, but does Brady sound like Ash? Maybe. I don't know.
Dude, that's
Scott,
up to you to figure out. Okay.
Scott's in the middle of a move, so I'm actually not sure Scott's gonna be
Scott
playing
is
this one.
well. Scott's fully moved in, but
right.
He is not attending as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
We've talked quite recently, and
Yeah.
I was not under the impression that he was going to this tournament.
Right, moving out of the PNW and then coming right back for the tournament, that'd be a bit funky.
Yeah.
Wait, Scott's moving to Baltimore? Oh, that's
Baltimore.
crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's moving in with Cabro.
Cool.
The ESM guy is going to be there, I guess, and competing. So I know exactly what he's running. And I'm not picking him as smart money if you want to, use that to your guys' advantage or not. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
I don't know. You guys can have him. I just think it would be cheesy to pick him because I think I've picked him too many times. Let's see. Ashton. I don't think Ashton's going to this one.
I'm pretty sure he's not going.
I'm still wondering if Neil's going to do the return or not. Neil's going to locals. I've heard. I've heard a couple of times saying, this is the event he's coming back to, but I don't know. Regardless,
Neil, I have no idea. It would be really funny if this was the tournament that he finally showed his face. So
one of my coaches played him at a local this past weekend. So
I know he's been turning up to locals because I've heard people talking about that. But my understanding is that he's been he's signed up for like every regional and not attended any of them.
That's
So,
crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Let's see some other names here. I mean, Aaron's in the area now, so Aaron will probably be there. Alberto, no, probably not. He's probably gonna be at Alberto's wedding. If I have to imagine. So yeah.
I see Montana down there, regional champion Montana Mod.
That's true. Raghav also going to be there. I don't know if Raghav's had a hot Vancouver before. I didn't see Raghav's name pop up in any of these other ones, but I know Raghav's going to be there, and Raghav's done plenty well at other tournaments that I wouldn't count him out for any reason.
Oh yeah, name one. Name one this year.
I can't. You know what? Actually, he's terrible. He's ass. He's one of the worst to ever do it. You got me.
Had a tough season. But also like is someone who's it's where I'm like, oh man, this top 75 is stacked. And then I look at the people who aren't in the top 75 and I'm like, oh shit. Like
this not top 75 is also stacked.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of good players. NJ should be going.
NJ I'm sure is going. There's no way.
Right. No chemo, he's on the hit list. Okay. So, I bet. I mean, is Pengy skipping this one? I bet Pengy's.
Aaron's going. Pengy's skipping. Joe is skipping.
Really? Joe did say he was skipping. I saw that one. He's taking a break.
Chuppa is skipping.
Is it really even a regional if Joe doesn't show up?
Or Pengy? I think it really doesn't. If there's no Pengy, no Wolf, no Joe.
Joe's giving everybody else a chance. It's fine.
You're right.
It's okay. Other people can make finals.
I was gonna say. Yeah, that's like the like kind of like Mickey part about these West Coast events is that Wolf never goes, and so like it's always like I mean it's just always like well what would have happened if Wolf was there? It's like, well, shut up, he didn't go. Like I can't plan his life. I'm sorry. Like I won Portland, and it's like, yeah, Wolf wasn't there though. Anyways, okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and move on to picking some names here. And Marcus, you're up first. So who do you want?
NJ11.
All right, NJ11. That is a very good pick. I probably would have done the same if I was...
two of me.
Adi, you get two.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, listen.
Well, who's your first pick,
right.
Adi?
My first pick, a player who got top cut at the European Championships, maybe a little unknown. A Canadian player, Rafe Osborne. I assume Rafe is going, but he's been doing well recently, so I think he's going to keep that up. RAFE.
Is it RAFE? That's right. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully I got Osborne right. And then for me, I was going to grab Montana. As soon as Adi said the name, I was worried. I was like, don't acknowledge Montana. Like that's my smart money. That was like my pick. Honestly,
I've talked to Montana a little bit about what he's trying to run, and I'm pretty sure he's not.
He's panicking.
You know what? I also have insight into what Montana's doing, and I'm not very confident in him. But I'm picking him. I'm picking him because I think he's better than he's giving himself credit for. But yes, that guy is completely lost.
He's not doing great right now.
But I don't want to. I can't pick ESM again.
If you have a smart money, you got to drop it in chat. It'll show up on screen, and you can brag to all your friends after you get it right because you called it on Tub Takes. So I see a Diego Aguirre in chat. That's a good one.
Choice. Good choice for sure.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up with some Calc is right then. So for those that aren't familiar, we're basically just going to be presenting damage calcs to each other, and then talking about then we have to guess a number within the range. So for example, Abomasnow's Blizzard 220 special attack, I guess. To another max HP Abomasnow does 34 to 41. So if you guessed 40, you'd be right, and you'd get the point. I mean, it's just kind of just to see how well we know our stuff. So with that said, does anybody have a damage calc to start us off?
Before we start, I'm going to read off some names that people are throwing out in chat. I see Zach Emerizian. I see Zach Minch. I see Alex, but which Alex? We don't know. We see R Inanimate. Jimmy picking his brother. I see Alex Underhill. Yeah. So those are some of the names that they see thrown out in chat. Looking out for all those players as well. All right, Go ahead with I guess Marcus, you can go first if you have a
Oh,
Calc is right.
I don't have one prep. Hold
That's
on.
fine.
It's
That's
one of
fine.
the-
Let's go back and
Alright.
look at the GC page for a bit of inspiration.
Yeah,
I'm
the
trying to think of some
GC.
things that that are notable.
All right, I do have one. I've got one.
Go ahead,
already.
Adi.
Okay.
All right, so one of the teams that we saw was a Excalibur team.
Oh, boy.
It had loaded dice icicle spear, and we're gonna see how much a max attack loaded dice icicle spear from Excalibur. I think it has to be Jolly to get the scale shot speed that it needs to hit. So we'll say Jolly icicle spear 4 hits into a 252 HP 4 defense Groudon.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, what we do is, Marcus, I forgot to mention this, but you just like kind of verbally out loud say you're ready, and then Adi will kind of like call on us to say our answers. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right, Alex, what do you got?
You said 4 hits, right?
I said 4 hits.
Okay, I'm gonna go for 75. I think if you got one more, it's still not killing.
All right, and Marcus, what do you think?
I think 70.
70. All
Think
right.
70. All right, let's plug it in.
Excalibur. One of these is probably dice. Yep, Jolly Dice. It's right there. And then Groudon. Wow, that's a very complicated spread. Is one of these basic? Okay, there we go. You said 252. Did you give it a 4? I can't remember.
I did give it a 4.
Cool. All right, Spear. It looks like, oh my god, I think we're both in there, but you're just barely sneaking in there. Let's go. Oh man. All right,
Yeah,
that's
you both got it right.
okay. I'm still cooking. I gotta think of what mine. Oh,
Hold on, let me.
Should I do one that's like around that Choice Band of Lucky, Choice Band Dragapult? Those are some good ones. Oh, you know what? That's what I'll do. What is the what's on the receiving end here? Let's pick what's Calc default Ensign? Like I want like a
All reliable.
physically defensive one. I want it
Yeah.
somewhat physically defensive. So I want this Ensign 244 52. Like it's not very specially bulky. I want to know how much that's taken from Terra Poison Specs Sludge Wave from Max Special Attack Modest and Turturnus. So Specs, Terra Poison, Max Modest, Eternatus versus this Ensign on screen here, 244.52. How much is the Sludge Wave doing?
Bro, what is the type chart? Tell me here. Wait, can I look up the type chart? I actually don't know.
You don't know if it's neutral or not?
Wait, I actually have no idea. I'm looking at the type chart. Attacking poison.
The games
Okay.
just tell you type effectiveness now. These kids. Oh my god, dude. I'm such a boomer. I'm losing my mind.
Specs, Terra
All right,
Poison.
I
you
got
said?
a number.
Specs, Terra
Specs,
Poison,
Terra
Max
Poison,
Modest.
Modest. I've got a number.
I've got a number.
All right. We'll start with you this time, Marcus.
104.
104. You think it's killing? You think it's a one shot?
did you-
All right, Adi.
Do you think it was super effective?
No.
I'm saying it's Sludge Wave. It's a spread move, right? So I'm saying it's a little lower. I'm saying it's going to do
Spread.
79. Yeah.
You know that it's Sludge Wave, right? What was your number, Adi? Say it again.
79.
79. Okay.
If you made single target, it'd be 104.
I was basing this calc based on what I think Sludge Bomb would do, and then reducing it by 75.
No.
Choice Specs, Terra, gotta put on Poison. Oh my god.
But make
Yeah.
it single target. Just humor me. Make it single target. Just like
Yeah, you're in there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm there.
It seems like you're both kind of right. I guess Adi a little more right because of the conditions put onto the battle. But you're right. I didn't mention that it was still a double battle, I guess.
Hey, you never know. Eternatus, it cleans those Pokemon off the board. This Eternatus, it cleans the Pokemon off the board quicker than any other Pokemon ever. And Eternatus, very good.
100%. All right, do you have one in mind?
do.
Do you have? All right, what's yours?
I do have one. Okay. So we all just saw this Koraidon Pokemon. It just won the tournament, and Life Orb, Flare Blitz. It's got all these funny buttons. How much? And we also saw there. I saw some distraught in the global challenge. Some people were losing to a Munchlax that was out there. So I just want to know from you lovely gentlemen. 252 Jolly, Life Orb, Terra Fire, Flare Blitz, and Sun versus max HP, max defense, Impish, Eviolite, Munchlax.
Let's go.
Sorry, what was the attacking Pokemon again?
Koraidon.
The Koraidon, Wolf's Koraidon.
Okay.
The Life Orb, Terra Fire, Flare Blitz.
Oh, right, because you would never click the fighting move into a Munchlax, right?
No, I want to know. I want to hear these internal damage counts.
Okay.
Yeah, it's thick fat, assumedly, right?
Yeah, I fell for my ploy. Okay.
You gotta tell us all the information.
No, I didn't know that's how this works. Okay. Yeah, thick fat. This is still good for what it's worth. This is still a good thing for you guys to figure out.
Okay. 252 attack, Terra Adamant or Jolly?
Jolly. 252 attack, Terra Fire, Flare Blitz, Life Orb, in Sun versus 252 HP, max defense, Impish, Munchlax with Eviolite and thick fat.
And it does have the Hadron engine. What's the other one? Oracular Pulse.
Or Calc Pulse or whatever. Yes, it has that.
Okay.
The seal of Orichalcum Pulse.
All
right.
I'm ready.
I got a number.
Okay.
You both have a number?
Yep.
Okay. Adi?
It's living this shit, dude. It's doing 80.
Okay. Alex?
I'm not changing my number, but Adi's making me worry because I have 56.
Why don't you plug it in?
I'm a believer in the Munchlax, dude. Come on, he's got this shit. We're using so many EVs.
I think he has this shit a little more than you guys think he does.
Oh shit. Okay. Koraidon. I don't think Wolf's is in here, so I'll just grab Jolly. Clear Amulet.
Alex, fix your Calc.
True, so true. No! 45 to 53? I was so close!
Wow.
But not enough.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
It wasn't enough!
But it wasn't enough.
With my logic, you can give your Munchlax Fissure and Terra Ghost, and some of the time it 1v1's Koraidon.
You know what's funny is does this mod learn counter as well?
Oh shit!
I think it does learn counter. So you could do that one. Okay. But yeah, that is actually hilarious. I do know Raghav lost to the Munchlax, and I was reading about that, and I was like, yeah, it just fissured my Pagos. Like, it's over. We were like, are you still able to win? He's like, no, it's just over. Oh man. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this week. So, if you're here now but you didn't catch the beginning, or you're realizing that YouTube is more your speed, check us out on YouTube. Beat you to it this time, Hottie.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, CK49 on YouTube. And yeah, appreciate you hanging out with us and being here for this one, Marcus. Thank you for previewing Vancouver with us.
Anytime.
And I guess I don't know. I'm actually really struggling to remember what I say in the outro besides this stuff. So,
watch my video. Go and argue with everyone in the comment section who says that I'm wrong, because you know that I'm right and they're wrong. So go and yell at them, please. I don't know. That's the last thing I got. Who are we sending it to? Sending it to Master Mark?
I gotta say, where's my
is Jean Mark gonna mention? Is Jean Mark streaming?
Is he? That'd be
send it to Jean Mark.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Start it up. Oh, dude, that tweet was good. This Tinkaton tweet that I put out that got like 6,000 likes. I swear, every reply. I'm sorry if you're one of the people that replied, but all of you are bots. Like everyone hit me with the joke to make your 6-year-old cousin laugh. I was like, what is that next to Urshifu? Referring to like the Tinkaton hammer. And everyone's like, oh, that's Landorus. I'm like, oh, yes, of course Landorus is next to Urshifu. And like 60,000 people are just like, Landorus, that's Landorus. Like, I'm just like, God, leave me alone, dude. Like, this is not funny. Oh, man. Anyways, yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out and watching the stream, and we'll catch you guys next week to talk about Vancouver. But anyways, peace out, peeps. Have a good night.